Hey guys, so welcome to my Walking Dead weekly chat video. There is a lot to talk about, so I'm just gonna dive right in. I'm gonna save Glenn for last, but I only have a couple other things that I want to talk about. So the first thing I wanted to talk about this episode of The Walking Dead was Michonne and Heath. I loved that storyline because of the fact that I think it really showed, up till this point, I really think Alexandrians have been portrayed as pretty damn useless, besides like Aaron and maybe in turn Eric too. But I think this was the first step for the Alexandrians to really understand what, Rick's group has been saying this whole time. Like, God, we go through so much and we've been through so much and we've met such terrible people. And even though watching your friend being eaten by zombies like Heath did with the guy that got bit, and I'm forgetting his name right now. I forget. But, Heath was like right there and got that first, kind of reaction right there. I think it was kind of good for him to realize, like, yeah, that's what they mean. And that was just, that scene wasn't that bad in comparison to like Terminus and like, just things that they've gone through, and the governor. I just think, it was kind of the first step of some Alexandrians really kind of maybe possibly being good additions to the group. I think Aaron, Heath, Scott, and Denise. Am I missing anybody out of the Alexandrians that I really like? Jesse seemed to, she stabbed this out of... I like Denise, by the way. I don't think that she's going to be the best warrior in the world, but I like that she stepped up in the last episode with that whole surgery thing. I don't know if I talked about that last week. But yeah, I'm excited to see them possibly, move forward. The next thing that I want to talk about before, this is going to segue into Glenn, is going to be Nicholas and his kind of whole plot line this episode, or I guess in general. I liked the dynamic between Nicholas and Glenn storytelling wise. I was not happy with Glenn keep having to be put in danger because of this asshole, but like, I liked that Nicholas was that guy who panicked no matter what, he was, and Glenn was the guy that always found a way out. How many times has Glenn been like almost dead? This included, where we're like, oh my God, there's no way. And he makes his way out. Yeah. Whether or not you believe Glenn is dead, I know that that's going to be the controversial part about this video. There's so many people who are adamant that he's dead, so many people are adamant that he's alive. We'll get to that in a second. But I definitely think that, Nicholas's last moments could be interpreted in two different ways. It could very much be interpreted that he's still kind of a coward. He shot himself. I think it could have been interpreted that he said thank you to Glenn because, thank you for trying to save me, even though I can't be saved. Does that make sense? Also, it could have been like, thank you, and I'm gonna, maybe me shooting myself is gonna save your life. Which in turn, I think he did. I think he saved Glenn's life. So, in the history books, maybe we shouldn't be so mad at Nicholas if that's the case. If some of you hate Glenn, then, maybe you are mad. But I would think if you dislike Glenn, you might be in the minority of fans, I would assume. Okay, let's get to Glenn, shall we? All right, so let's talk about the reaction. First of all, you guys, I gained 100 subscribers on Sunday. That's fucking insane. And I'm assuming it's because of that reaction. I mean, absolutely crazy that I gained that many. Yes, I was emotional. Yes, I love Glenn. And not only do I just love Glenn, I think he needs to live. He needs to live because he's someone who isn't, I wholeheartedly do not believe that Rick or Carol or anybody is too far gone, but I think they're heading in that direction. And I think Glenn is that anchor. He's kind of like Herschel. And I don't think Glenn is really going to, turn anybody into Farmer Rick or anything like that. However, I think he's important to keep the hope alive. Him and Maggie both. So I think it's very important that he lives. And so, yes, I was devastated. I was a hot fucking mess. I mean, you all saw. Okay, so basically what happened was we watched the episode and I was in shambles and I was just like really, really sad. Then we watched the beginning of The Talking Dead and he wasn't in the In Memoriam and I was like, say what now? I was like, what do you mean he's not? Wait. And then they had issued that statement. I don't know if you guys watched it. I'm assuming you did, but if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're the type of people who watched The Talking Dead. They then they issued a statement like you might see parts of him or something like that. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it, not one bit. Like Beth was in a like a hallucination the episode after she died, and she was still in the In Memoriam when she got shot in the head. Like I'm just saying. I know it's a little more ambiguous now, but still. Okay. After that, I demanded my mom rewind, and we watched the scene again and again, so that we could see if there was some way that he could have survived. And there is. I know some of you people, I'm sure, leave the comments, in down there and talk about how stupid I am. That's fine. But every time I watched the scene, I got so excited because I was like, there's a possibility they're eating Nicholas. He's right next to that dumpster. He could have slid under. There is a chance that he's alive, and I'm gonna hold on to that hope. Listen, you don't have to hold on to the hope if you don't want to, but I'm going to do that. Anyway, Danielle was saying how we should have kept the camera recording for all of the other times that we watched the show, because every single time I inherently got more excited. It ended with me doing my own rendition of a Glenn's Alive dance, which I really wish you all could have seen because it was pretty epic. Maybe you'll see it if he does turn out to be alive. Yeah. I'm really excited. I have faith in that guy. He's gonna live. He may not live for long. Listen, every character on this show has a fucking expiration date. I'm not, I'm not naive. However, I think he lived. If you don't, sorry about it. But let's talk about moving forward, if he is alive. If you guys really totally think he's dead, click off the video. That's all we're going to be talking about until the end. And just, that's fine. For those of you who do think he's alive, let's talk about it. If he gets into that dumpster, right? Or slides under the dumpster. What then? Is he just going to hope that the horde is going to keep it moving? What the hell? I don't think that's a good idea. What the hell is he gonna do? I'm sure he'll think of something, my dear Glenn. I know you will. However, I'm a little nervous here. So I know that this is completely not a very valid prediction, but I kind of hope, because Rick is in a fucking predicament, wouldn't it be amazing if Rick got him somehow? He's under that dumpster, and somehow Rick saved his life. as a complete homage to the end of the first episode in the first season, where Rick is a goner and there's all those zombies coming at him in the tank, and Glenn saves his life. And there's that moment where Rick asks him, you know, like, why did you do that? Why did you stick your neck out for me? And Glenn said, you know, I'd like to think if I was ever that far upstream, somebody would do the same for me. I would... Listen, guys, it's not very likely that that's going to happen because Rick is in some shit right now. We're aware, right? However, if it does happen, look for my reaction for it, because I'm going to be feeling all the feels if that's the case. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. You know, I love Glenn, and I'm going to hold on to hope that he's alive. And I know a lot of you are pretty positive he's alive, and a lot of you are pretty positive that he's dead. Just a disclaimer for those of you who are newer subscribers, if you are watching this, basically, Danielle is not going to be in the next Walking Dead reaction video. She is, we live 4 hours apart. I was home this past weekend because one of my friends got married, and she wanted to be in a reaction video. And thank you for those of you who are very, very sweet to her in the comment section. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so that's about it. It's not that you won't ever see her again. I'm sure she's going to come up to visit sometime soon and things like that. And, you know, we'll do some reactions then. But it's not going to be a common occurrence that she's on this channel. So sorry if you subscribed because you loved our relationship so much on the couch. But, you know, just talk to my older subscribers because they're dealing with me and Kevin. And, yeah. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm excited for the next episode with Morgan. It's kind of an episode that's been slightly highly anticipated. I'm a little upset. I hope it's not an Morgan lovers don't hate me, but I'm not entirely sure I want to watch 90 minutes of just Morgan in the woods. But I have faith. I have faith in you writers. You're gonna do great. I'm excited. Okay. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.